So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of conjunction through houses. Today we're going to be covering Venus Ketu in the 6th house of your birth chart. As in what happens when these two planets are conjunct together in the 6th house. Okay. And specifically for this particular conjunction, it is important to see where the Lord has gone, the dispositor of Venus, unless Venus is ruling its own sign in the 6th house, which is Taurus and Libra. Okay. And of course, as you know, with any planetary conjunction, other planets will be influencing it as well. But we don't know the effects of those planets because we're not covering that. Otherwise, this video might become a 6-hour long video, right? You have to see if Saturn is in the 8th, something else. Saturn is in the 10th, something else. 2nd, something else. 4th, something else. And that too with every other planet. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular conjunction, along with all the astrological details and consultation, you can go to kerasastrology.com here under shop section, where you'll find my books, reports, and consultations, and link to my academy and courses there as well. And especially I've just uploaded and completed the Gemini blank chart prediction with students' charts, and you'll see the feedback. So Venus and Ketu in the 6th house. Now on one hand, you will see Venus and Ketu. It is a great alignment for somebody to become an accountant. Accountancy becomes extremely important, including law becomes very important. Venus Ketu will also signify a person can become a great nurse or somebody who can go into even dealing with Botox. Somebody who becomes a Botox doctor, Botox specialist. Okay. Why? Because 6th house is naturally the house of health. And here you have Venus, which is Sanjeevani Shakti. And you have Ketu, which represents sharp objects. Okay. So these are the things that Venus will be able to do really well. And the other thing with Venus being in the 6th house, you must be thinking, oh God, no marriage, no nothing. I know what he's going to say. No. You got to understand, 6th house now becomes the house of your pending karma, which means there's something pending here. Now, what is pending here? It's Venus. Venus is marriage. Venus is pregnancy. Venus is money. Venus is luxury. Okay. So naturally, a person must and has to experience these things in this life. Venus and Ketu in the 6th house does several things here. One, it'll most definitely bring in owed money and luxury in your life. Meaning you're here to get it. On the other hand, Venus and Ketu will also expand the expenditure towards luxury. Wanting to spend money towards comfort. That becomes the number one thing here with Venus. Why? Because number one, Venus is in the 6th house, away from its comfort, right? So a planet is completely away from a position where it needs to feel comforted. So let's say, for example, it's winter outside. You go outside to check your mail. It's 20 degrees, right? The only thought that's going to be between your door to the mailbox and coming back is, where's my warmth? I need to get warm again, right? This is the same concept that is happening here. So it becomes even more crucial for this particular conjunction and for this individual. They drive and strive themselves towards success so they can find their luxury. That's why, and especially you will see this happens regardless of Venus or Ketu is behind Venus's degree or in front of Venus's degree. Ketu is not going to stop the luxury. Because remember, Ketu actually helps with the luxury. Ketu is flag, as we call Dhavaj. So that means if Venus is representing the things that I mentioned, the flag has to raise up high at one point, even though you might be 20, fine, struggling, 30, struggling, but it will happen. Now, how does this happen? See, Ketu is representing something that is coming from the past. This is why I said it's something owed to you. And 6th house is a house of debt. And the way it becomes activated is through the marriage of the person. And surprisingly, when you read the basic astrological book when you're starting out, they all say, this is not good, this is not good, no money, no this. And then when you start doing consultation and you look at people's chart and you see that it completely failed what you said, this person's living a comfortable life. So this is why it's so important to take real world experiences by doing reading. That's the real education that you receive as an astrological student. Okay, so in my case, I have seen always normal, good, financial status. Even marriage has happened. Now, one thing that takes place here, okay, when Ketu is in front of Venus in the 6th, is that a person, when they're growing in their adulthood and they're in their adulthood, they're not understanding how the relationship is going to come because they're expecting that normalcy, just like their friends, just like their social circles, that everybody has a girlfriend and boyfriend and it's happening great, it's going great, it's doing good. Where in this person's case, they have to go through 2 breakups. Okay. Venus in the 6th with Ketu in the front will take you to 2 hard breakups. And this is why I tell people when I see this that, listen, enjoy your romantic time, fall in love, but always know that you can get a text one day or another that we should see other people. I don't think this is going anywhere, or blah, 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 whatever the text and calls that you get. And you should be like, great. I think it's great that, you made this decision. I was thinking the same thing, and move on. Because once you understand this, you're watching this video as a 21-year-old. I guarantee you'll be prepared from here on out. You meet somebody so beautiful, and especially with Venus Ketu in the 6th, usually, especially in a man's chart, they attract very beautiful, attractive women with beautiful bodies. It'll be like a slim hourglass-like body. Very nice toned body. The women will usually have long hair. And especially the women, or even the person who has this chart may even have a, what do you call the butt chin? There'll be a dash or a dot usually. Dash, I think, comes through Mars, and dot comes through Ketu. So those things will be there. So this person is getting that, but they're getting that to learn lessons. That, look, we're bringing you the most beautiful, the perfect woman in your life, but it's not going to last. And this is the lesson that Venus has to learn, because those people who are coming in, they're definitely going to come in. See, Ketu in front, okay, definitely can delay your ability to find romance, your ability to get married. But it is going to bring to you certain things from past for you to finish off. Okay. Now, if, let's say, Jupiter aspects this particular conjunction, then a person can actually simply find one person and be good with them. But depends on who you find. What did I give as careers for this Venus in the 6th house? So if you're a male, look for a female with those particular careers, and especially when Venus and Ketu are together. Okay. It's very important to do the matching. Okay, matching is a very complex, dynamic area of astrology that has been misconstrued too many times. It's not just the score. It's not just the panchanga. It is actually something even much more simpler than that when you're looking at the chart. Do you realize that just by looking at your name and their name, the first letter of your name, the first letter of the person's name, you'll know if this person is going to be compatible or not. But because Venus is with Ketu, you must look for a girl who's either in fashion designing, healthcare, especially using sharp objects, accountant, lawyer, data scientist, including somebody who's dealing with, like, let's say, DNA research. When you find this is that alignment. So if, let's say, you're dating somebody, you're in your 20s, you date somebody who's in marketing, who is, working in management, human resources. And in that too, in human resource, what are they doing? That's very important. Are they dealing with the data and then researching and then finding out how many employees we need to have and not have? If their work is to do research, that too will work. But certain alignments here, like common careers, may not work here. And this is why it's very important to pick that right person. Now, the other thing we also see usually with Venus in the 6th house, yes, spouse is going to go to doctor's office quite a few times throughout the year. Okay. But see, because of Venus Ketu together, which is causing a Padham Yoga, you're going to see every time a problem occurs, whether it's with your wife or spouse in general, because Venus is spouse in general, or even the marriage itself. The moment a problem arises and that problem is solved, you will see more money and luxury coming in your life with this Venus Ketu. Now, when Ketu is behind, now actually, to be honest with you, this becomes more of a issue of this person not wanting a relationship so desperately. Why is that? Think about it, because this person has already experienced the life with Ketu, the breaks, the cuts in marriage, relationship, luxury. So when Ketu is behind, you will see a person is a type of individual who's a bit aloof when it comes to relationships, love, luxury. They're okay. They're fine with whatever life is giving them, because it's like embedded in their consciousness that everything has to go and nothing ever lasts. And this is where, when Ketu is behind, the intimacy of this person is not going to be to the par as when Ketu is in front. Why? Because Venus is ready to give. Venus is wanting to give. You want to explore that Venus. You want to give that dish of Venus to the other person. That, look, this is my dish that universe has given to me. I want to share this with you. And yes, that wall of Ketu then hits, and they're like, what's happening? Why? Where the one who has Ketu behind it, they're experienced. They can be broken up 10 times. They'll be like, yeah, I knew it. And this is why that Ketu behind Venus actually becomes more of a combination of somebody who ultimately may even desire to be celibate, who may desire to just, be confined to their own comfort than to sharing comfort. And especially if you find the ascendant Lord strong. Ascendant Lord is in its own sign. Ascendant Lord is aspecting the ascendant itself. Jupiter is in the ascendant. Mercury is in the ascendant. Okay? What happens is the ascendant becomes so strong that now this person doesn't feel the need to be with anybody. See, you got to understand, why is it that we need somebody? Why is it that we want somebody? We feel like they're going to complete part of us. We feel incomplete because the ascendant is weak. Now, just because ascendant is weak doesn't mean the life is weak and everything is weak. No, the weak vocabulary that we use is to show the spectrum. Okay, there's like a spectrum, like a light spectrum where the ascendant falls. Okay, so when it's weak in a certain area, in a certain spectrum of light, it's going to show that, okay, this person needs somebody. Another area of life, this person really needs not only somebody else, but they also want children because they feel like they have to fulfill their desire through children. Then there's another spectrum of the ascendant being weak where, okay, now life is just in shambles. So you can't say ascendant is weak and you're thinking, oh my God, my chart is weak. No, you have to understand the scope. See, the vocabulary is not correct that we use on our daily basis, even as astrologers. Your ascendant is weak. And suddenly that thought is caught in the subconscious, oh, it's a weak ascendant. No, what's the spectrum of it? And what is the definite, what exactly is defining as weak? Because it can be weak at a certain spectrum where you need somebody, but man, you're doing really well in your career and your education and your wealth and your comfort and family. So this is where when that ascendant is strong with the position that I said, then and when Ketu is behind Venus, this person's not going to have that need. They will keep rejecting people in proposals. And they have to be very careful because if a certain time elapsed, because they think like, no, I'm not ready. I have to work on my career. I'm not ready. I have to work on this other thing. I'm not ready. Well, then once that time passes, now when you're like, okay, I'm ready, well, it's too late. So when the ascendant is strong, please make sure that you do things on time. If you really want to be settled, because then by the time you reach your late 30s and 40s, and that feeling is now there, no, I need it now. Well, guess what? That particular time is gone. And this only happens, like I said, when the ascendant is strong. When the person feels like, I am who I am. I am okay with myself. I'm happy with myself. So these are the dynamics you have to take into play. And especially, like I said, with the 6th house, the pending karma house, the disposer becomes very important. Where it's gone and placed to see this Venus Ketu's manifestation. This is why I'm specifically talking about the disposer in this, although I can discuss disposer with other for sure. But this one is very important. And especially with Venus in the 6th, you will see naturally a person can attract people. Without them doing anything, it attracts people. Why? Because Venus is there to finish its karma. It's active. It's like it's like when in a NASCAR, the light is going from red to yellow and then to green. It's in yellow going towards green. That's the house it's sitting in. So now it's ready. Venus is active. Venus is most active in the 6th house, and the opportunities come naturally to you without you even doing anything. The green light comes in front of you. So you have to decide where you want to go with that particular green light. But like I said, as far as money is concerned, whenever you go into those professions that I talked about, even if, let's say, Saturn is not saying, but you're like, I'm going to go towards this. And this is why I do that Venus wealth reading. Because Saturn is saying one thing as a career. Okay, Venus is saying, look, if that is not working, if Saturn is really weak in its spectrum, that is just giving you like small paying jobs, odd jobs, you come to me. And why is that? Because remember, Venus, Shukracharya, is that only guru who accepts everybody. Whether it's Deva, whether it's Asura, whether it's Manushya. Whoever comes, yes, come in. I'll accept you. This is why I say, especially in the Venus wealth reading, that when you go towards Venus, that's where the money is. So even if Saturn is in the 10th, 11th, 9th saying something, your money will only be starting to make when you have connected with that Venus in the 6th. So for example, somebody is in fields of IT. Mostly people are AI, IT, data science, and data mining. Those are the majority of the careers in IT. But Venus in the 6th with Ketu says, when the time came, this person got hired by KPMG, one of the biggest accounting firms. And from there, their wealth began to rise. Now, they may be thinking, well, Venus wealth, that's not doing anything. It's my Saturn that's giving me everything. No, Saturn is giving you that this is what you're doing. But Venus is saying, when you come here, this is where I'm going to give you the money. So when you align with that Venus Ketu, you're working for an accounting firm as a data scientist. Well, now your stock options and your bonuses and promotions, boom, things happen. So this is how simple it is. Astrology is not hard. I'm letting you know right now, it's not hard. As soon as you see it, like this is why, especially once you learn BNN astrology, you're just like looking at it like, oh, you see it. It's like you see it in that once moment. When you see the chart, you see thing just starts to speak to you. Okay. So anyway, this was our Venus Ketu conjunction in the 6th house. Again, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. So if you want to know where Venus and Ketu are placed, all my astrological details, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.